Renovating my ancestors' 600-year-old Hopwood Hall in Middleton, England has been the project of a lifetime. We appreciate you watching along, your questions and comments, and we had such a great response from our last Q&A video, and you guys had so many more questions, so we've collated those, and we're going to give you answers to those today. But before we do that, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell to be alerted about our latest content. Who's paying for the restoration? Well, that's a very good question because it is a very expensive project we're working on here. We have been so lucky to get some amazing grants from Historic England, National Lottery Heritage Fund, the Architectural Heritage Fund, and many other sources that have been helping us along the way, giving us grants that have been helping to pay for the renovation along with Rochdale Council. I've also put in my own money. So it's a combination, a patchwork, a cocktail, a funding cocktail, if you will, that is helping us get to where we need to go. Can I visit the hall? We highly recommend coming to visit us on one of our open days. Right now the hall is closed down due to health and safety and many other reasons, but we do schedule regular open days during the spring and summer, so be sure to check our schedule and our website. Also, if you join our Friends group, you get the first invitations as the spaces fill up very quickly, so we highly encourage you to join as a friend. And eventually, we will be open more and more regularly for tours, and hopefully, we will be open all the time at some point in the future. But please make sure you are coming to visit on a day that we are open, because right now there are few and far between. I know some people have just showed up, which never works out. So make sure that you're coming when we're having an open day and that you're pre-booked and pre-scheduled so that we can welcome you and show you the hall. Who owns the hall? The hall is currently owned by Rochdale Council. They took possession of it many years ago, decades ago, when the hall was vacated. It is a grade 2 star listed building, so they have been watching over it. But when I came here in 2017 to help rescue the hall, we did an exclusive agreement between myself and the council to eventually take responsibility for the hall. But we knew that the council was going to have to play a very important position in this rescue and renovation, so they have remained the owners. And at some point here in the near future, the responsibility for the hall and going forward will transition over to us. And when that happens, it will be a huge responsibility taking on the hall. But we're up for it, we're excited, but we also have to be very realistic about what goes into maintaining a building like this. It's a big liability, a big responsibility, as I said. But we've had so much support. We've made great strides so far. We've had incredible people coming out of the woodwork to help us. We've had the community and our grant funders and all of you behind us. So we're really looking forward to it, but also want to do it in a strategic and paced way so that we are ready to take Hopwood Hall into the future. Which room do you love most at the hall? Well, that's a very hard question to answer because there are so many great rooms and so many that have special meaning to me. But I think probably the oak parlor, because it is the oldest room in the house. It dates back to the 1400s. My ancestors were born in that room. And so I absolutely feel this incredible charge of energy whenever I walk in there. And I just get mesmerized by the carvings and the old initials left in the walls. It has such a strong sense of history. So I think that is probably my favorite, although I have many others that rank up there too. Which room are you most excited to restore? I think probably the banquet room, because there were so many incredible events and parties in that room, and it was decorated quite lavishly. And when you walk in there, you can just picture people in powdered wigs dancing and buckled shoes, and it said that Chopin played in that room. I think that one will probably really be a showcase of the hall, and to see it transform from what it looks like right now, which is a wreck, into a beautifully restored ballroom. Why does it take so long for us to make more YouTube videos? Well, I will tell you, we really want to be making more videos, but our first top priority has to be rescuing the hall. And that is an everyday process. There's always something going on, always something unexpected happening. So it's not as easy as it sounds just to make a quick video. People have asked, why don't we hire more people? We do have a small team of people working on the videos, but there's also things that come up. For instance, I came here today to make a video, and I'll show you what we found around the corner here. Unexpectedly, we have this. See those? Feathers. Pigeon feathers, people. There are all sorts of pigeons getting in here into the hall. And now today we are trying to deal with how are we going to manage these pigeons? How did they get in? What's going on? How are we going to stop them from coming in? Well, now we've figured out they're getting in right here. See, the chicken wire that was blocking this up before has now somehow blown out or fallen out, or maybe a pigeon grabbed it with his beak and claws and ripped it out and let a whole slew of pigeons in here. Now there's pigeon droppings, which is not safe, and it's not good to have pigeon droppings in a vacant building. It can create a lot of issues, health issues as well. It's not good to breathe this stuff in once it dries out. See, you can see right there, there are our pigeon droppings, which I'm not happy about because somebody's got to clean those up. Oops, and see, they've also ripped out another section here so they could get in. So I'm going to blame it on the pigeons. No, but seriously, it's stuff like this that comes up every single day that takes our time, takes our focus, and really takes our energy to try to deal with that. A lot of people have also said in the past, why don't you make longer videos? And let me tell you, we absolutely want to make longer videos, and you've probably seen in our most recent videos, they are much longer, but of course, those also take a lot longer to produce and put together, film, edit, and all of that. So hopefully you'll understand. We're trying to get videos out as fast as we can to you, but we can only do so much in so few hours, in so few days. How is the roof coming along? Well, the roof is coming along. It has been years on the roof. It's a massive undertaking, but we have a lot of videos about it, so you can catch up on those. We'll also be having more videos in the future about the progress, and we also have exclusive videos about the roof and other works at the hall on our Patreon channel. So if you want to see more videos and keep up to date in real time, sometimes 2 to 3 days a week, be sure to join us there and you'll be in the loop. What is the oldest part of the hall? Well, the oldest part of the hall is the oak parlor, and the room above it is the Lord Byron bedroom, which is also another one of my favorite rooms. But those rooms date back to the 1400s, and a spear truss, which it is called, which has been dendro dated back to 1426. There's a lot of history in that area, and there may be older parts of the hall, but those are the sections that we can prove at this point through dendrochronology. But there are foundations that are thought to even date back to the 12 and 1100s. So more research is needed and more investigation. But for now, those are the oldest parts of the hall. Why do you call it a castle? I call it a castle because to me it is one. It's a huge building, and I'm American, and in the American sense of the word, a castle is a big imposing building. It also has these castle type architecture called castellations or crenellations. Right here you can see they're throughout the building, and they are on different areas of the hall, which to me also make it a castle. And it was originally a moated site, which means that it was set up for battle or set up for defense. Now, it's important to note that there are basically 3 types of castles. There is a motte and bailey castle, a stone keep, and a concentric castle. Now, a motte and bailey castle would have been a wooden structure built on top of a hill. And now, as you can see behind me, I think you can see this, Hopwood Hall is up here on this hill up there. And if it was originally surrounded by a moat or a deep ditch, perhaps that is some evidence that Hopwood Hall would have originally been a Motte and Bailey castle, of course adjusted over the years. Much more research is needed, but very interesting to think about it. Are there any rooms that I haven't been in yet? Well, for the most part, I think I have now been in all the rooms, but I can't say that definitely because we keep discovering things and discovering secret rooms, and there are probably some rooms up on the 3rd floor that we may not have been in. There's some I've peeked into, I'm not sure that I've actually walked into yet. And even more surprising was I had been here for years and years, and there was a lot of rooms that I had never been in before. And slowly over time, as we've improved those rooms and shored up the walls and the ceilings, I have now ventured into each of those rooms. So a few more to go, I think. But for the most part, I've done pretty much it all. How did your ancestors store and preserve food at the Hall? Well, that's a really interesting question because I was amazed to find these winding, twisting cellars underneath the Hall. And that is actually cooled down by a stream and a spring that runs underneath it that keeps it cool to about 3 degrees centigrade. And in there they had a wine cellar, they had a meat cellar, you can still see the meat hooks hanging from the ceiling. They had an area to store cheeses and other foods. It's quite an elaborate storage system and quite amazing that it has worked like that for centuries and is still very cold down there when you go down. So it's scary to go down there, a little bit creepy, but we do have a tour, a short tour of it in one of our previous videos called The Break-In, where I go down there looking for people who may have broken into the Hall, sort of like a horror movie. But we will be eventually showing another tour of that at some point here in the future. How has Hopwood Hall changed over the years? Well, actually, the Hall has changed quite a bit, but that is over the centuries. With a building this old that dates back to the 1400s and possibly even before that, there have been many alterations and additions over the time, dating back to the oak parlor, and that's in the 1400s, all the way up to a extension that was added in the 1960s, the nightclub. Fortunately, there's many photographs and paintings and sketches of what the Hall used to look like, and we have this wonderful model that our friend Bill built, and it gives a good idea of what you would have seen at different periods of time. And we're very lucky to have an archive of these photographs and images and sketches and paintings. And it's gone through quite a bit more, having turned into a derelict building and now being transformed into a functioning, working building with life and energy in it once again. Will you be giving tours of the Hall? Yes, I will be giving tours, and we will be giving tours. So I think the question is specifically, will I be giving tours? And I am looking forward to doing that. I've already been giving a lot of tours to the community and visitors when we have open days, and there's nothing more that I enjoy than showing the Hall to new people. So I look forward to when we can have regular tours and be open on a regular basis. Will there be a sequel to Downton Shabby? Yes, as a matter of fact, there will be eventually. Right now, we're actually living the part 2, and as things shake out, I am taking notes. I am working on writing this book that eventually will come out, but right now it's actually happening, so we don't know where it's going. Hopefully straight to being a finished, restored Hall. And there may even be a 3rd book after that, who knows? But I really enjoyed the writing process. I love sharing the stories with so many people out there and hearing feedback from people and talking with people about it. It's really opened up a whole different part of my life that I didn't expect. Connecting with people who are familiar with Hopwood Hall, people who want to come and visit Hopwood Hall, people that know of other houses similar to Hopwood Hall. And it's just been really, really inspiring and incredible to connect with so many different people out there from all over the world who have somehow stepped into this world by reading Downton Shabby. So it was a true honor to write the book and to have it published by HarperCollins and William Morrow and to get it out there to so many people in so many places. What is your dream for the Hall? I really want to focus on bringing the hall back to what it was, and it's always been a hub for people to gather, the community and friends and family and everyone to come together and celebrate and enjoy life and to be creative. For centuries, there is a tradition of creative people coming here. Some of the Hopwood family were novelists and painters and poets, and on up to Ozzy Osbourne playing here, and supposedly John Lennon, and oh, I can't forget about Chopin playing here. So there's always been this sort of art and culture tie to Hopwood Hall, and I would love to bring that back and see it as a place where people can come and gather and enjoy themselves and be inspired and be creative. And of course, I want to do an entire video about the vision for the hall, and that will really show you more about where we're going with that and really delve into this topic even more. But to give you sort of a short answer, that's where we envision ourselves going, but there's a lot more to get into with it. That's our video. Thank you so much for all your questions and all your previous responses on our earlier video. Thank you also for all the recommendations for white sand beaches in our last video. I have a lot of places to go now on my bucket list. So if you enjoyed this, please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell to be alerted about our latest content. And if you want to see more videos, please join us on Patreon. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon. Hey favorites, thank you for hanging until the very end. If you'd like to read my book called Downton Shabby from HarperCollins, it is a story about Hopwood Hall. It's available for purchase online. Thank you so much.